Okay, so this next slide talks us through the procedures that we need to do in order to complete the AP search. And if you look to there's the instructions here, and what they're referencing is the Excel file here, which is up under your class assignment for chapter 11. So make sure you go ahead and open this too. It's called Chapter 11 AP Work Paper Unrecorded Liabilities blank. If we look here, we see the first step in the AP search is to look at the disbursements made after year end, which is Schedule 11-2, and try and determine if these amounts were properly included or excluded from AP at 12/31/19, which is in Schedule 11-1. So looking here in my Excel file, and these instructions are basically the same as what's in the slide. So looking here in my Excel file, I see 11-1 represents what is included in accounts payable at 12/31/19. So these are the things actually included in AP. This is going to be the AP balance that actually, winds up in the 10K that we see on the balance sheet. And what the step asked you to do was to look at work paper 11-2, which is this. And work paper 11-2 represents the subsequent disbursements. So these are cash disbursements that are happening in January. And so for each of these disbursements, I need to look at it and evaluate whether or not I think it's properly included or excluded from accounts payable at year end. So for example, this first cash disbursement in January, if I look, okay, I can see here, yes, the check went out in January, but the invoice was dated December, which doesn't necessarily mean anything because I need to see what it relates to as well. So it relates to an annual computer maintenance contract for 2019. So 2019 is my year under audit. 2020 is when the check actually goes out. And so we know 2019 expenses need to be recorded in 2019, right? So I would want to record that expense in 2019. So that means I want the liability related to it also recorded in accounts payable as of 2019. So I know before I even look at AP, I think this amount should be included in AP, right? So I'm going to look for this amount, Smart Chip 6684. And I see Smart Chip, there's nothing recorded. Okay, so this is going to be improperly excluded from AP as of 12/31/19. So that would be something that I would want the company to add to its accounts payable balance at year end. Okay, so that's basically what you do. You're going to go through each one of these. And the fundamental thing that's behind all this that you need to remember is actually really simple. And it goes back to your Intro to Financial Accounting course when you learned about the matching principle, right? So for 2019 expenses and purchases and things like that, we want those to be reflected in 2019 accounts payable, right? We should accrue them in 2019 AP. But if these cash disbursements actually do relate to 2020, right? If they're relating to the year they're actually disbursed in, then there's no reason why they would need to be included in last year's AP balance. So those we would expect to be excluded. Okay. So just go through one by one, keep that matching principle in the back of your mind, and figure out if they're improperly excluded or included. Then after you go through each one, the next step is for any items you note are improperly included or excluded, propose the adjusting journal entry to be presented to the client. Right? So for any items that are improper, we know these represent misstatements where you'd want to add them to your summary of audit differences, most likely. Right? Assume they exceed SAD. So assume they're going to be in excess of your SAD threshold. So go ahead and try to come up with what you think the adjusting journal entry would be that we would want to include on our summary of audit differences. So that's part 2 of the exercise.